Today's Mercedes-Benz interview of the day brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz has an SUV for you, whether it's the stylish GLC, the compact GLA, the three-road GLS, or the GLE and GLC plug-in hybrids. Visit MBUSA.com for special offers. Tommy John, he spent 26 years in Major League Baseball, won 288 games. He has a podcast called Rubbing Elbows with Tommy John. His website, TommyJohn25.net. His number was 25. His Facebook group is Tommy.John Cooperstown, which hopefully we get him into Cooperstown. Tommy, good to see you again. You have the oddest type of fame. When did you embrace that you're famous kind of for Tommy John surgery?
Oh, God, it was long time after I was out of baseball, and everybody, Tommy John surgery, Tommy John surgery, Tommy John surgery. And I didn't name it Tommy John surgery. Dr. Job did. And so he's the one that stuck me with that.
Do you know what it was called before you had the surgery?
It wasn't called because it had never been done.
But like they just said, you're getting ulnar surgery. Like when Dr. Job is...
The name of the surgery was ulnar collateral ligament replacement with the palmaris longus tendon. And after they got through and I survived, then Dr. Job, as most orthopedics do, went out and talked to other doctors. And he said, I just got tired of saying that. That's such a long, drawn-out name. And I came down with, the surgery I did on Tommy John, the surgery I did on, and then they cut it down to, Tommy John surgery. Boing, there it is.
Did you almost not do it?
No, because I wanted to pitch again. And the only way I was going to pitch again was to have the surgery. Maybe pitch again.
How did it feel after you had your surgery? Was there any difference in how you pitched or, how hard you threw or any improvement?
I have no idea how hard I threw before surgery because thank God we didn't have radar guns. And you see guys out there now with radar guns that don't know squat about pitching, but they go, oh man, look at that. He's good. And he's good because he's got numbers on the gun.
Well, yeah, and we've hatched a whole new generation of throwers, not pitchers. And it almost feels like, hey, if I blow out my arm, I can always have Tommy John surgery or multiple Tommy John surgeries.
Well, there's 4 or 5 guys that have had the surgery twice. And, I don't know the wherewithal about that, but obviously they were doing something wrong.
Does the surgery or your name attached to this surgery help or hurt your Hall of Fame case?
I think it hurts it because when you look at 288 and I had 188 no decisions, the most in baseball history. So if you take 288 wins and 188 no decisions, there's a lot of wins in those no decisions.
Well, if you get in, and I hope you do, and I've said this before, you had, over 500 decisions when you pitched. Your ERA is very respectable. But can we have, instead of your bust or a plaque, can we just have, maybe...
the arm?
Yeah, your arm. Can we do a statue of your arm if you get into the Hall of Fame, Tommy?
Yeah. That somebody will come up with that, but I had the cast that Dr. Job put on me after the surgery, and my wife Cheryl and I decided that we wanted to donate it to a charity, and we donated to the Smithsonian Institute. So if you go to the Smithsonian and go to their Sports Hall of Records or whatever, you'll see the Tommy John cast autograph.
Oh,
by all the Dodgers, Vin Scully, Jerry Doggett, Danny Murtaugh, because back in that period of time, I wanted to go sit on the bench during the ball game. and you had to get the okay from the opposing manager. So I go up to him with my arm in a cast, and I said, Danny, I just want to sit on the bench and watch the game. Can I? He said two things. Promise me you won't go out on the field during a fight and hit somebody with the cast. And I said, okay. And he said, secondly, I want to sign it. So the first person to sign my cast was Danny Murtaugh at the Pittsburgh Pirates.
How soon after your surgery did the second pitcher go in for surgery?
The second pitcher was Brent Strom. And Strommy is a longtime pitching coach with many teams, but I think it was like a year and a half later.
Well, you're Neil Armstrong, so Strommy is the second person on the moon. You know,
that's right. He is.
We remember you. I thought contributions to the game. Now, I would have thought 288 would be enough to get into the Hall of Fame, but if I attach contributions to the game, do you feel like you've contributed to the game because of the surgery that you had?
Oh my God, yes. I'm with you. If 288 can't get you into the Hall of Fame, then I don't want in. I'll just stay outside and look. I don't mean that, but
yeah, don't say that. No, yeah, there's a campaign to get you in next year.
Well, here's what my wife Cheryl believes this. My number was 25. And if I go into the Hall of Fame, it'll be 2025. And what's the other 25, babe? Oh, the address of the Hall of Fame is 25 Main Street, Cooperstown.
I like that. I think that's awesome. But you know what? If you're not successful, then we don't have Tommy John surgery. So that's right. Where you won 20 games, I think. You had 121 season, I think, after you had Tommy John surgery. Does that sound right?
After surgery?
Yeah.
I think I had 3.
Oh, you didn't have any prior to surgery?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Because I think you won 10 games the following year, and I thought you had...
Yeah, I was 10-10. Yeah, I was 10-10. And then that was 76, 77, 78. I may have squeezed 20 out of there.
Do people ask to see your elbow, your arm, when they meet you?
All the time.
What's it?
And
what's it look
and
like?
I make them pay me. Sure.
Is there a scar?
There was a very visible scar, and now it's kind of pulled back, and you really got to look to see it.
Also, but Tommy, I don't know if he's proud of this. He managed to make 3 errors on one play. That was what when you were with the Yankees.
Yeah. It takes quite a fielder to do that.
How did you commit 3 errors on one play?
They hit the ball back to me. I mean, between the mound and first base. And I come charging in, and I pick the ball up, drop it, pick it up, drop it, pick it up, drop it. Then why I did what I did, I picked the ball up and I underhanded threw it to first base and threw it by the first baseman way out in the left field. Well, that's error number 2. And the right fielder gets it and throws it in and misses the cutoff man. And I'm just standing there, and I pick it up, and they go home. And I turn and I fired it by the catcher's ear like that, and that's error number 3.
Well, congratulations. Congratulations.
You gotta, if you're gonna go down in baseball history, go down doing something good.
But you were around big personalities. Like, what's your favorite story, whether it's in Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, where you run into a celebrity or a player?
I've got 2 quick ones. I'm going out to the car. This is with the Dodgers because Yankees, the only people that would go out to the ball game would be the mob. The mob.
Oh, okay. You ran into the mob.
Oh yeah, because I had Italian friends that. but
Okay.
but I'm going. I'm leaving the ballpark, and I had just pitched that day, and I'm going to the car, and I hear Tommy, 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 and somebody's waving. I turn around and I go, holy shit, it's Cary Grant.
Ooh.
And he comes up and, how am I, but when I was with the Dodgers, I'm sitting on the bench and the clubhouse kid comes down and he said, Tommy, you're wanted up in Lasorda's office. Well, I turn and I look to my right and Lasorda's down on the end of the bench standing. So I go up and the door's locked. And I knock on the door and the door opens. And here standing in his tidy whities is Don Rickles. And come in and lock the door. And I said, Rickles, I'm not that kind of a guy. I said, do you think everybody just, and he said, get in here, you putz. And he said, look, you're the only guy I could count on. He was going to be ball boy and he wanted to be dressed properly. So I dressed him, made sure all this stuff, and he leaves and he pats me on the butt and he said, I owe you, pal. Okay, fine. Well, we go out and the first game of the World Series, I'm pitching and I lose and we don't play very well. And Lasorda's coming in. So the next day, get in here and sit down. He said, you guys played yesterday. You played terrible. You know what? Man. He said, I went out and I called around and I got the best sports psychologist in the world that's going to work with you guys. And we go, oh, what's he done? So the door opens and then walks Rickles. And he just got everybody laughing and giggling. And so the clubhouse at Dodger Stadium was laid out alphabetically. And I'm right there with Bert Hooton, Charlie Huff, Tommy John. And he goes, Bert Hooton, Bert effing Hooton, Charlie Huff, Charlie effing Huff, Tommy John, Tommy effing John. Debt's paid. And he went, and the guy said, what did you do? That he didn't rail on you. And I said, oh, you're not going to believe it. But we had a good time with Rickles. And the other guy that was really good to me was a guy named Sinatra.
Yeah.
My mother was dying of cancer, and I wanted to get her down to the cancer hospital in Houston, Texas. And so I was making plans on chartering a plane to fly her down. And I get a call from Lasorda. He said, Tommy, Frank wants to bring his plane in to Terre Haute and fly your mother down to Houston. It's on him. Wow. And I went, oh, how nice is that? Well, my mother passed away before we could get the plane there and get down. But I thank Frank, but that's the way it was playing for the Dodgers. You had Rickles, you had Sinatra, you Cary Grant, you had all these people were up in the stands.
He's Tommy John. His podcast, Rubbing Elbows with Tommy John, the website, TommyJohn25.net, and his Facebook group is Tommy.JohnCooperstown. I hope we get positive results, Tommy. It's a long time coming, and good luck with the campaign.
Thank you much. Hey, could I say hi to a 7-year-old boy that skipped school to watch you and me? His name is Braxton Bennett. And he's 7 years old. He lives Southern California. He's a huge baseball fan, but he skipped school today specifically to watch you and me. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you, Tommy. Good to see you.
You got it, buddy.
So maybe 25 and 25.